Welcome to Instagram blindly chooses my reads for the month of July. Usually what I've been doing is I've been using my TBR drawer to pick my reads for the month we're going into, but this month I decided to switch it up a little bit. Instead, I posted on my Instagram 4 different posts, and each post has 2 books to choose from, but the catch is that it's blindly. People have no idea what the book is. I only have a few emojis to describe the book, and people pick just from the emojis, just from like the vibes of what the emojis are and what they would prefer. And whatever book ends up winning out of the 2 is the book that I'm going to be reading for the month of July. I got this video idea from Sarah Caroli. I have been wanting to do it myself, and it's been literal like months, maybe years at this point, and I just haven't done it. And this month I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I posted on my story yesterday the choices for the books, and I am so anxious to see what books they're going to be. I have not even taken a little glimpse into what book has been winning, what books have gotten more votes. I'm gonna be going into this blindly, and we're going to find out together what books have won. I feel like that's the most fun way to do it, so I have no idea. Yay! Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I ended up clicking on it. On the left, I have Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. This is the same author as Emily Wilde's book. I've been wanting to read those, especially after getting into cozy fantasy. I know that this is a second chance romance. It's cozy. I know on the sides here there's some yummy pastries, which I love to read about, and it's based in a cat shelter, of course, as you can tell from the title. I've had this book in my hands for a few months. I keep putting it off because there's just so many books that I want to read, but I really want to read this book. And the other book, it's not the same genre, but it's just another book that I am interested in reading. It is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The only thing I know about this book is that she is a tennis champion. I think it's just like a general fiction type of book, but I've heard some pretty good things about this one. And oops, sorry, I hit you. From the 2, the left definitely won, which is the Mystical Cat Shelter. I definitely would have picked the cat, the plant, the bread over the like tennis star trophy vibes. Cats, bread, plants, that's definitely my vibe. Out of the 2, my heart is definitely wanting to read this more than this one, which makes me that much more happy. Agnes Aubert is very fond of making lists. These lists kept her afloat when she lost her husband 2 years ago. And now, as a founder of a cat rescue charity, her meticulous organizational skills feel like the only thing standing between her beloved cat. And when Agnes is forced to move the charity, she soon discovers that her new shop is being used as a front. Right under her feet is a layer of the decidedly disorganized, not to mention self-absorbed and infuriatingly handsome Havelock Renard. So it seems like it's going to be a enemies to lovers second chance romance, and I hope that it's done right. I haven't had the best experiences with enemies to lovers in the past. I feel like it's very quick to say enemies when there isn't actually a solid reason to be enemies, but considering with the synopsis, seems like a solid reason to not like someone. I really hope that the romance is done right. From the other cozy fantasy books that I've read, the romance has been done really, really well, like better than an actual romance book, so I'm hoping that this one is done that way. For the next slide, on the left we got Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. I've heard amazing things about Hannah Bonham Young. I have been so antsy to pick up one of her books. So on the left, I did a bottle for the baby accidental pregnancy. I put a golden retriever, or just like a dog, because I heard there's a golden retriever in this book. I put a little pumpkin because they meet of the night of Halloween. And then I put a plant because of the plant on the cover. And then as for the right, I put a book because there's a guy coming out of a book on the cover right here, and there's like a book here. I put a sunflower or whatever, a daisy, I'm not sure, from just the flowers that are on the bottom here. I put a little piece of candy because it says in the small town that she's at, there's a candy store. Oh, and rain always comes in the afternoon. So I put a rain cloud. And out of the two, this bad boy won. Wait. That was inconvenient. I've had this book in my hands for a couple of months, and to be honest, I haven't read an Ashley Poston book since I read The 7-Year Slip, I think 2 years ago now. So I am way overdue to read a book by her. I'm very pleased that I have a romance book to read in July because I am in a romance mood, and I haven't been in this much of a romance kick probably last year, maybe even longer. I definitely want to allow myself to read the romance books because I haven't been wanting to as much as before, and I have a lot of romance books on my TBR, so the fact that I got a novel love story is great news. Oh, I'm so excited to pick up this one. As for the next book, these two, I switched it up a little bit and I did some fantasy books. On the left, I got The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I've heard amazing things about this book probably when I first started reading years ago, and I've never picked it up. For the emojis for this one, I have a crown, I have a fairy, a sword, and then I think it's an elf. That's definitely the vibes that it gives me from this book. I think there's fairies, I think there's elves. The book obviously is fantasy, so I just picked out any emojis that gave off those vibes. And then for the book that's on the right, it is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I did a fox because her last name is Fox. The main character's last name is Fox. I did a broken heart, of course, Once Upon a Broken Heart. And then I did a sword and a castle because it just gives me that vibes. Like, I feel like it's definitely castle vibes from the cover. And to be honest, out of the two, I was hoping that Once Upon a Broken Heart won over The Cruel Prince, but just from the emojis, the people voted for the one that was on the left, which is The Cruel Prince. It says Jude was 7 when her parents were murdered and she and her 2 sisters were stolen away to live in the treacherous high court of Fairy. So there is. 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to belong there. But many of the Fae despise humans, especially Prince Carden, the youngest and wickedest son of the High King. To win a place at the court, Jude must defy him and face the consequences. Dun 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 dun. It honestly reminds me of Powerless, just about the 2 different societies and them having to fight against each other. I really hope that I like this book, to be honest. I've been disappointed with some popular book talk books before, so I really hope that I love this book as much as I'm expecting to. And I think there's only 3 books in this series, so it doesn't seem as intimidating and as like, yeah, I guess intimidating to like jump into. For my 3rd book, it's going to be The Cruel Prince. As for the last story, I'm so anxious to see what book is going to win. Ooh, this one was close. On the left, we have Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. So I have a cowboy, obviously. I have Beer. It's been years since he's seen her, but when she walks into his bar, that's why I put Beer. I put a cloud because of the cover, and then I put a horse because of the cowboy vibes. Save a horse, ride a cowboy sort of vibes, you know? On the one on the right, which is the one that won, it is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. I put a lock with a key because of the cover right here. I put a pink heart because of the cover. I put a mountain emoji because of the mountain here. And then I put a like pinball and bowling ball because of the sprayed edges as well. And this one was really close, to be honest. I'm curious as to see what the score was. By 1 vote, the one on the right won. Holy cow. I'm actually really curious to see if people were able to guess what the book was. I also thought that the cowboy emojis would win more because I feel like cowboy romance books are very popular. But I mean, I guess it was just 1 point that it was off, but Wild Love ended up winning. So for the last book, it is Wild Love by Elsie Silver. This is the first book in the Rose Hill series. I've read about the world of Rose Hill from the Chestnut Spring series. It is still a small town, but they classified it more as like the city in Chestnut Springs. So I don't think there is actually any cowboys we'll be reading about, which I am a little disappointed in, but I love the Chestnut Springs series. I love Elsie Silver's writing. I love the spice that she writes. I am very picky with the spice in books, and with hers, I end up really enjoying it. So I'm really hoping that I like this book, that I like this series. Just because when there's an author that you have like a 5-star series with, it's a little scary to then continue on with their other books because you may not like it, and that's fine, but it's so disappointing in the moment, to be honest. So I'm really hoping that I love it. Let's just see. We'll find out when I read it. It says, she's been driving him wild for years. The good kind of wild, the bad kind of wild. Sorry, sometimes the synopsis on these books can be so cheesy. But mostly the kind of wild that comes with wanting your best friend's little sister and knowing you can't have her. I love the brother's best friend trope. I don't know what it is about it. Me and my little sister are obsessed with that trope. If I love this book, I'm gonna have to recommend this one to her. Forbes may be labeled Ford Grant, the world's hottest billionaire. I don't really care for billionaires. It says Forbes may, sorry, that was like genuine. I don't like real life billionaires. And you may be like, why did you buy the book if you don't like billionaires that much? Well, it's because it's Elsie Silver, and I'm gonna give it a shot. It says, but all he cares about is escaping the press and opening a recording studio in gorgeous small town Rose Hill. Something that comes to a screeching halt when he ends up face to face with a young girl who claims he's her biological father. Now he spends his days balancing business with parenting a sullen 12-year-old. Oh my gosh. What? This is so juicy. All while trying desperately to keep his hands the hell off his best friend's sister, Rosie Belmont. The billionaire trope, I've read one other book that's like that, and I just didn't really like it. Like, it kind of felt a little bit like they were just buying off the FMC. And so it can be done wrong. It can give me the ick. Like, it just kind of like throw me off. Like, I don't really care about the whole like I can buy you everything you want in the whole world. I don't know, it just doesn't really do it for me. So let's see how the dialogue is. Let's see how he uses his money. That was such a fun way to pick out my reads for July. I am so excited to go into the new month with a fresh stack of books. I'm so happy that we have different ranges of genres like romance, fantasy, and cozy fantasy. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you guys want to participate in the next time that I do this, definitely go follow me on my Instagram. Since this was a fun, fresh way to pick out my next reads, I definitely will be doing this again. I also thought about doing this in a way of picking out books like in a reading vlog. I thought would be fun. I hope July treats you amazing. I hope you have a 5-star read this month. I hope you have a fun time just soaking in the summer vibes. That is going to be it for today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.